Buffelgrass is an invasive species from the African savanna that can be found in the Sonoran Desert. This invasive grass easily outcompetes native shrubs and cacti for space, nutrients, and water, replacing them in just a few years. Buffelgrass is taking over the desert, doubling every year, and has a big impact on the environment. This grass brings harm to many species surrounding it, including plants, animals, and people. The buffelgrass brings harm to plants as it can dry out the soil. This competition for water can weaken these native plants to the point where they can no longer survive. By killing out the native plants, this grass also affects local wildlife by taking away their food supply. The killing of native plants not only affects the southern Arizona ecosystem, but also its economy, as tourism is a big industry and now suffers from popular viewpoints and destinations being converted into disturbing grasslands. Buffelgrass is also very fire-prone. It can lead to frequent and devastating fires in what is known as a fireproof desert. Wildlife poses a major threat to many communities, and wildfire poses a major threat to many communities and ecosystems throughout the West, as deserts due to the invasive grasses are burning more often than any other place in the U.S. Deserts are not supposed to burn. Vegetation is too sparse to carry a fire throughout the landscape. However, due to the invasive species of grass, they have allowed wildfires to spread into areas which rarely burn. Tackling a problem of this size and scale of an invasive species or wildfire requires a combination of management and science and outreach, a high level of coordination among government agencies at all levels, interest groups, and community organizations. Starting in the 90s, the city of Tucson started to fight back against buffelgrass and the threat it posed to the surrounding Sonoran Desert and the city itself. Many people have volunteered to help remove this invasive grass from our ecosystem. Strides have been made, but there's a lot more work to be done in order to successfully keep buffelgrass from spreading and to eventually to remove it altogether. In just a couple of decades, buffelgrass has transformed large expanses of the iconic southern Arizona desert into something more like the African savanna. Our ecosystem here in southern Arizona could be lost due to the invasion of buffelgrass. So it is imperative that we combat its spread now and get rid of it from our desert.